pleased with the response of Secretary Clinton. She had been prepared for this question, and she knew that it was coming, and we were very pleased with the response that
what did she say she intended to do? What was her proposal?
Well, the Congressional Black Caucus advocates a 10-20-30 program whereby we want to target federal resources in those communities that have poverty rates in excess of 20% that has persisted for more than 30 years. And we want to redirect federal dollars into those communities. It would not raise the deficit nor the debt, but we want to prioritize federal dollars in persistent poverty communities, and she gets it. And she told us that she was very supportive of the idea and looked forward to working with us. This was not a political meeting today, I want to stress. This was a policy meeting, and we want to know where she stands, and we gave it to her for 60 continuous minutes.
Angela, it wasn't a political meeting, but many members of the CBC actually supported Mrs. Clinton in 2008 over then Senator Obama. What can she do this time around to win over the members who didn't support her then?
Well, I think there are a couple of things. One, Rev, it's important to note that the CBC was one of the meetings that Secretary Clinton held today. There was also an overall Democratic caucus meeting. There was also a meeting with KPAC, which is the Asian caucus, the Hispanic caucus, and the Progressive caucus. Her doing this run this early speaks volumes about her political acumen, whether it was a political meeting or a policy meeting. It says that she understands that this group is very, very important. They're not only her former Democratic colleagues, but they're also super delegates. And it's very, very important for her to have these conversations early so that her agenda begins to marry and mirror theirs. So it's very, very important. I think the other piece is you're talking about what she can do differently. I think that the circumstances are certainly much different. It's very, very hard for a CBC member, and it was at the time in 2008, to argue that they would not support the first black potentially president. That would be standing on the wrong side of history.
Many of them did.
And what I'm saying to you is, many of them did not as well. The caucus was probably 3/4 for the president and 1/4 for Secretary Clinton. Most of that had to do, Rev, with the fact that they knew her longer. They had relationships with her. I know my former boss, Congressman Cleaver, was a Clinton appointee. So that's where his allegiances lie. You also had folks that represented the New York delegation. It's historic for New York delegation to support someone who's coming out of their state. So there are a number of reasons why, and of course we don't have time to get into all of them, but I think her starting this early speaks volumes.